I studied and worked my way from a prep cook to like a chef, and then I was running a few stores at once. And
so now you're a boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did you like it?
I liked it. I was doing the
Did you like the
payroll,
responsibility though? Because it comes with responsibility.
But then I got sick. I was sick with an autoimmune disease, and I didn't know what I had. The thing that keeps me going is always telling myself, get through this first. You have to focus and get through it, because if you break, everything else is going to crumble under you.
It's Mauricio Mejia live on YouTube.
All right, guys, we are back. Welcome, Mauricio Mejia live inside of Studio B, downtown San Jose, the heart of Silicon Valley. Before we go into the show, I just want to say thank you to our new official water for Mauricio Mejia live. It's D2O water. You can go to Drink D2O water. Check them out. Got a lot of stuff. Actually, I'm going to be interviewing the founder in the next couple of episodes. Get ready, because we got some big things coming up. So D2O water, guys. Let's get ready. Anyhow, we're going to jump right into it. We got a special guest. Last time we had a food show or a food guest here, Mama Rock's Puerto Rican food. The ratings, we're going to call them ratings. The ratings went through the roof, right? The views. And I want to welcome you today, Nory Michelle. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I didn't realize you had a trek to get here. So welcome and thank you for taking the time and being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's an honor. Just even backstage talking about some of the things in your experience. You're the owner of is it Yo Soy Ceviche?
Yosoy Ceviche,
right?
yes.
Peruvian cuisine, one of my ultimate favorite foods.
Thank you.
I love Peru too. I've been there only once, and I fell in love with Peru. The food, the culture, the energy. There's definitely some energy in Peru. So we'll dive into that. But before we get into all the fun and stuff, we want people to learn a little bit about you and what got you into where you're at. So we'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
Born and raised, and then and we'll kind of see where the journey takes us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it all started in San Francisco.
All right.
I grew up in the Sunset, and my mom, she came from Paita, Piura in Peru. And her idea of me growing up here was to have the best opportunities I could have. So she tried to work really hard. My dad worked really hard to provide me, really good education in the city. And
what school did you go to in the city?
I actually went to a private school.
All right. I kind of had that vibe going right now. So which one?
So I started at St. Thomas Apostle. The school closed.
Okay.
Last year.
Okay. All right.
I'm still here though.
All right.
So, we had our socks up, and my mom would embroider my initials in my sweater, and I had big bows in my hair, Oh man, yeah, torture.
Uh-huh.
So, and then I went to Lincoln High School, which was a public high school. And then I went to City College.
Wait. So you started in private and then ended up public.
Yeah, I couldn't do it again.
Should we go into those details?
I said, no, I need to live. So, no, I went to public, two totally different worlds. A lot of...
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
It was a lot of, pros and cons for each. Mm-hmm. And I got the benefits of both. So
Would you prefer?
I think if it was my choice, it would have been a public school and maybe save to go to a good college.
Okay.
But although the college I went to, City College, was a really good college, community college. But you do, if you want to excel further, you'd have to go get a bachelor's at a university, which costs money, So you want to spend, I would have spent it more on that once I got out of City. But I went to City, and my mom, when I graduated, she was like, what are you going to do? You're 18, So she loved to cook. She was always cooking ceviche and Peruvian food, and she was hosting events at the house all the time for birthdays and doing these lavish holidays. So I was interested in cooking. And my dad at the time worked at City Hall as the head of the custodians.
Okay.
So they would have these.
And both parents are Peruvian, right?
My dad is actually white.
Okay.
He's German and Polish, and he has a little Mexican in him too. But he's born and raised native in the city. Okay. So he's second generation.
Got it.
And I'm third.
All right.
And he worked at City Hall as a big time manager, and so they would have all these events for the city there, and have this catering company come in. and McCall's Catering, and they're still in the city. Really, really popular catering company. So the head chef there was like Gordon Ramsay. He was so sweet. He was this tall Polish man, and he gave me a job as a prep cook. And I started learning cooking. And at the time, there was 7 brothers running the kitchen. And it was really looked at differently when you were young and you were a woman in the kitchen. So I got a lot of heat.
How many years back are we going?
This was so...
Because you're young.
Yeah, I feel it in my knees and in my back. High
miles.
Like 22 years ago.
Okay.
And
when you were like 10. So.
Yeah, I was 18.
Okay.
And I'm 40.
All right.
And so, you know, back then it was like you're just, you know, just make the salads kind of thing. And I would we would butt heads a lot, and I was, you know, what's your boss? Like, what is that title? I want to learn how to do that. So I can give you orders one day. And
that sounds like me. I've never had a boss in my life. So
I want to learn what to do, and I wanted to learn how to do it better.
Nice.
You know, so I studied and worked my way from like, you know, a prep cook to like a chef. I went to another job and worked to a sous chef. And then I worked in fast casual restaurants.
Okay.
I was an assistant manager and a shift lead, then an assistant manager, and then I worked my way up to GM. And then I was running a few stores at once. And
so now you're a boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did you like it?
I liked it. I was doing the
Did you like the
payroll.
responsibility, though? Because it comes with responsibility.
You know, at the time, I was young and everybody was partying.
Yeah.
And it was a sacrifice that I had to make. You know, I worked at Noah's Bagels. I was the GM. So we would get there at like 4:30 in the morning. You know, I would have to go to sleep at like 6 or 7 to get enough hours.
Hey, those places are busy.
Yeah.
They make money.
And GMs aren't there just 8 hours.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
you're there 10, 12 hours. Someone calls out sick. You fill out all the positions,
Yeah.
you know, inventory, all of that. So I was
And
learning.
you're on a salary. You're not hourly.
Yeah. And depending on the job you go to, you get bonuses or not, depending on how the business does, you know, everything just weighs out depending on how good you do. So I always wanted to excel.
Yeah.
And I loved running different things at once. I kind of got a rush out of it.
Yeah, multitasking.
Yeah. It was like an adrenaline thing for me. And I knew I was working towards something, but I didn't know what. So I wanted to just go as high as I could. And then it went into learning, you know, fast casual to fast casual fine dining, where like they had servers and bussers and, you know,
White linen.
You know, kind of getting there, but
Yeah.
not fancy 5-star yet.
Okay.
So, but you know, it was a whole different ball game. You had a front of the house area that you were running versus just the service. This was separated more.
Okay.
You know, you look at restaurants, and most restaurants have the back of the house, the front of the house, and they have that divide. So you try to...
And they all butt heads.
Yeah, and then you have the kitchen manager, and then you have the front of the house manager, and then you have the GM, you know, technically. So it's like...
Trying to keep peace with
everybody's
everybody.
keeping, and so I had a rarity because I knew the kitchen.
Right.
So me coming from a hospitality industry and working with people, I could kind of get to the front of the house and then have the respect of the kitchen. So I was able to kind of work it that way. But it was still, you know, who is she coming in here trying to tell me what to do?
Right.
You know, but I had a job to do. Yeah. So then that went...
How tall are you?
Like 5'4", 5'5".
I was gonna say, like, you know, who's this 5'4" person walking in here, you know, calling shots?
Yeah, and you know, I would say this is about maybe 10 or 12 years ago, so I'm still really young, you know, and
but you're cracking the whip already.
Yeah, they're looking at me like,
yeah,
and you have to prove yourself in a lot of ways.
That's right.
So,
well, you're in a leadership role.
Yeah.
So when you're in the leadership role, you gotta definitely take authority. And you have to show authority, yet still lead, right? Because authority can come in many different forms. Some people will, you know, crack the whip hard, and they're like dictators in the business. And then there's others where the people, they follow because they want to work with you, because they like that you get things done.
Yeah.
You know, so that's important.
Right.
in a business, and it seems like you're picking those things up and
Executing.
You're executing,
Yeah.
and you're I know you paid
Hey.
it. Decide, commit, execute.
Yeah.
You're making decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're committing to them, like my book back there, and you're executing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, your team is seeing that, so you're earning their respect. Right?
Yeah.
So then when shit really hits the fan, because in the
It
restaurant
does.
business,
It sure does.
1 minute is calm, and then next thing you know, you swell up so fast that things have to start moving quick.
Yeah.
Because if you don't provide that service, you start getting complaints.
It's them.
Yeah.
It's really them, and not because I get pulled so many different ways. I feel like an octopus.
Yeah.
I have my hands just dipped in everything.
Yeah.
And so I need them. I need to trust them, and I need them and I need to be able to rely on them, and I need them to be able to like me and want to do those things for me. Being an employer is a competitive thing as it is, but I wasn't an employer at that time. I was managing for somebody who had the business and gave it to me like that, So I just had to instill what they wanted, and I also had to just kind of manage it to where it was working for them in the business, And so then after the bistros, and I went into fine dining, more fine dining, which involved bars, and reservations and fancier events. And that was more of a high volume thing. I mean, the restaurant I went to in North Beach was machine. It was 3 buildings in one, and then that became, once I learned that, I became kind of like the cleanup manager. I was going into different restaurants, and if they needed some love, I would go in there and clean it up. I would make checklists.
The house mom,
Yeah.
Cleaning house, cleaning.
Yeah. Like the housekeeper of the restaurant, just going over there, making my little organization for the business for them, and making things better, like the fairy godmother.
Yeah.
And I loved it, and I got the scheduling got a lot bigger with restaurants like that. And I was managing 2 or 3 of them at once, and so then you had the assistant restaurant managers, and then you started dealing with the kitchen managers. And so it's like this whole thing that I was on the other side, and now here I am delegating it all, and I had like 180 employees in that restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah. And I loved what I did. But then I got sick. I was sick with an autoimmune disease, and I didn't know what I had. I had bruising and spotting all over my body. I thought I would get hit or poked, and it would just flare up. And I went to the doctor, and he's like, you have to go to the hospital. You can't take yourself. So I went, and then they just kept me for 8 days, and they told me I had a low platelet disorder, which was like basically my blood wasn't clotting. Something was eating thought my body was sick inside and eating up all my platelets, which helps your blood clot. And so I was internally bleeding to death.
Oh, wow.
And the blood was coming out of my eyes, my gums, like I was dying, basically. Wow. And so they had to try all these treatments to get me to survive so that it wouldn't kill me. And they had put me under a lot of things that weren't working at first. And so they gave me a lot of steroids. And that kind of seemed to kind of bring the numbers up a little bit. But, I was fighting in there for 8 days. And then they sent me home.
So you're in the hospital and you're fighting for your life.
Yeah. And then I started going through transfusions where they would take these bags of liquid, and like I would sit there for maybe 8 hours, and they just inject the liquid into me to try to make the numbers balance out. Yeah, I thought I was going to get cancer. I was afraid. I didn't know what was going to happen. What I had. I was trying to figure it all out.
How long ago was this?
This was back in, I would say like 12 years ago. Yeah.
So 2013?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And so it was finally the steroids that they had me on were so much, but it was helping. And I was going through a lot of bloating and feeling high, like intense energy from the medication. So I needed something to keep myself occupied because I was also very weak in my body. and I still lived on my own, and I am an only child, and I didn't have really any family to kind of help take care of me. So I would still have to cook on my own, pay the bills on my own, and I figured, okay, why don't I keep myself occupied, because I love cooking, and it was like my therapy. So I'll cook and videotape it and blog it. And I would just do it on Facebook and put my recipes, and it became like a project to keep me busy, and I would stay up all night editing it, and I would make little slideshows, and it was like, I was like Rachel Ray, and of home cooking, and it was called Home Cooking.
Yeah.
And so
you realize what's happening though, right? Necessity is like the mother of invention here. So you're what you're going through in life is, you've already outlined it. There's no family support. You're the only child. You still got responsibilities, and no matter what happens in life, right? We still got responsibilities to take care of,
right?
If that's the way we're set up,
yeah.
So. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your responsibilities, because if not, very quickly things can spiral out of control if they already aren't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you got to figure out how to stay afloat and not go down that rabbit hole. And then on top of that, you're fighting something you have no idea.
I don't have any idea. Yep.
You're scared because it's again there's fear that kicks in because. You just don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and your mind starts playing tricks on you. And I'm sure that everyone's giving you their opinions and their thoughts, and doesn't make it any better, even though they're trying to make you feel better. So you start creating.
I start creating.
You start creating, start putting it out on social media.
Yeah.
What happens next?
I start getting, my friends just loved it. And
what kind of food, by the way?
It was just Peruvian fusion. It was what I grew up with my mom making, but also flavors that I like to eat. The Bay has
Peruvian food is off the charts.
Thank you.
It's got a lot of flavor. I love the limon or lemon. What they use in it. Spices. I mean. My mouth just got
water. I'm so hungry.
I'm so craving right now the leche de tigre.
Yeah.
Like I like to drink that stuff like shots.
Like a shot.
Like I tell them when I go to one of my favorite restaurants, Limon. And I said, oye, ¿me puedes traer leche de tigre?
Shot.
And he looks at me. I said, no me importa. I'll pay extra.
Good.
Just, give it to me. I need to get it in
with some ají in it.
I need to get it in my bloodstream,
Yeah, me too.
It's on.
I just drink it. Yeah, like water. So good.
So salty and so sour, but it's so good.
And in Peru, we eat it so spicy.
Yeah.
With the canchita.
I love canchita.
So good.
The guys even tell me, I'm like, hey, can you give me some? And he goes, we're charged. We don't provide that. I'm like, I'll pay, bro. Just bring me some cancha, so I can just
slip on it. Yeah.
So. Anyhow, so you're doing these infusions. You're putting content. You're building content, whether you know it or not. You're keeping yourself busy. Your mind busy. You're going through. That's your version of self-therapy.
Self-therapy.
What happens next?
So my friends started coming to visit me and watch the videos. Okay. And I had a friend.
It's like the home cooking channel.
The home cooking. Nory's home cooking. I'm at home cooking. So one of them worked in the cannabis industry, and he was building his business. And he said, I do pop-ups. Why don't you come, bring your food and sell it to stoners? Oh. And
I see where this is going.
I was like, okay, at first it was just like, okay, just go try it. I'm glad you guys liked it. They would come eat the food. I didn't want to eat it anymore. I was tired of looking at it. Yeah, I would spend hours filming and editing. I didn't want to see it anymore. So, it started like that. And it was just, little cups of ceviche. And I have different friends that, I had a friend owned a bar, and that kind of turned into, I have a friend that owns a wine bar, and she wants to know if you have a table, and do you have a banner, and, do you have a booth? And it was like, well, no, but I guess I could get those things, I guess it wasn't that hard to get. Sure, and I didn't really say no. I didn't plan on... I had tried other things. I had a peanut butter business. Okay. It was called Chunky Nutter Peanut Butter. And I did jalapeno peanut butter and Rocky Road peanut butter and curry. And like, it was like a thing. But, you know, it was a lot of work, hand pulsing and jarring and packaging for what you could, you know, get back from it.
Right.
And you know,
time, energy,
all of that.
Your return on investment, which is not working.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was more fun. It was hobbies. You know,
right.
it was things you try, ideas.
All
You're
right.
never really going into it going, this is my business.
Right.
Like you think this is what I'm going to try out and see what
Yeah.
happens, right?
I've done a few of those
Yeah.
in my life.
And so
Yeah.
it was home cooking. And so it was under Mama's Home Cooking was the catering. It was like, do orders, you know, just at home or something through my friends. And I went to my friend, he had printing, like T-shirts and stuff like that. And I wanted an apron. I wanted home cooking aprons. I wanted to be like Rachel
By
Ray.
the way, I love the flavor. You came in with some
Thank
flavor.
you.
I love the headpiece, you know.
Thank you very
The chef
much.
jacket, you know.
Yes.
All dialed in. All right, you came ready to.
Ready. Ready to party.
You know we have a little kitchen back there too,
Yeah,
right?
let's get cooking. We could do a cooking video.
We should. I've
Yeah.
been talking about that, so.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been wanting to do my videos again.
All right.
So I it started with, you know, like the catering, and I went to my friend's. He had done shirts, and I said I want some aprons done, and he looks at the photo. I had like a photo of vegetables, and he's like, I can't do anything with that. You need a vector, which is like an animated kind of cartoonish version of it. So I was like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Yeah.
Like, so he goes, you know, and I was always going over there and bringing ceviche for him and his wife, and I would bring different ones, and he's like, you know, looking at like all of these ceviches on the table, going, you know, Nory, you're always talking about ceviche and like always bringing over different ceviches. Like, why don't you just change your name? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but I don't want to have a business. I just want to like write a cookbook and like, you know, do a show. And he was like, but you are ceviche. Like, Yo Soy Ceviche. You are ceviche. And I'm like, I don't know. What about like ceviche bowl? I don't know. But I said, I don't really know. I don't really want a business like that. Like, you know, I just maybe. So he goes, let me work on a vector and the name and the logo, and you know, and I'll get back to you. So he, you know, came up with it. I told him what colors, and
Well, I love the logo.
thank you.
And I love the name.
I cannot take credit for any of that.
Yeah. So what's the gentleman's name to put this thing together for you?
It's Lazaro
Okay.
Ruiz, and it's established by creators.
All right.
ESTBC on Insta.
Great logo.
Yes.
Great name, by the way. Yo Soy Ceviche is dope.
And he has great quality.
Uh-huh.
Actually, he does really good work. So
Good. Believe it or not, I'm looking for some graphic designers.
Yes.
Yes. Original work that I want to get done. So.
Oh, his things will last a lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you know, he created my logo, so it took off.
Your identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He named me.
Me.
And it like took off.
Did you pay for that logo too, by the way?
I did.
So you own it, right?
Yes.
How much did you pay for your logo?
I don't remember because he also, I think it was a shirt package too with it.
Okay.
But
he bamboozled you then.
Yeah,
You said that? Let me do.
no, I think he hooked me up. He's always, you know, he's always legit.
Do
But
you compete? Are there any competitions for ceviche? I mean, you know, or flavor, like any kind of food competitions out there? And San Francisco is an amazing place for competition and for food. San Francisco is a great place. I mean, considering that it's coming back post COVID, San Francisco's always had amazing restaurants. I love the restaurants in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a global destination. So for me, ceviche it's one of those exotic foods. It's and you can serve it at high end because it's just all in presentation. So. And ceviche fish, right? You quality fish. That's the trick, right? Healthy fish,
protein.
And then it's the best ceviche is when it's fresh.
Made with love.
Made with love.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have the ceviche you brought us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tell me, you're on this path, but believe it or not, you've already started this entrepreneurship journey. Part of what we talk about here is, you know, and what we do is we embrace the entrepreneurial spirit and. You've already hit it without probably even identifying it. Like you're almost resisting it. You're saying, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this business." But somebody saw talent Just the same thing with me. Somebody saw talent in me when I was a kid, and they said, son, continue doing what you're doing, and you have an entrepreneurial spirit. And I'm like, those are big words, right? When you're a kid, what's an entrepreneurial spirit? Just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to be very successful one day. All right. And then I started to associate, my work to what I love, my passion, and then what came out of it, the end product or the byproduct was what I was making out of my work, and I love doing it. They say that when you love what you do, it's not considered work.
Work, right?
So you're passionately involved. You're loving. You're making food with love. You're building this brand without even without a plan. You're doing it. And what happens next? So do you see the growth start happening?
It was hard. It was hard. I had an injury that I had gained from a previous job, and it was affecting my arms, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was affecting my nerves, and it was going up into my spine. And I had an elbow surgery where it was like my nerve was entrapped in my elbow twice in two places. And I was dealing along my journey with figuring out all the injury and where it was coming from and maintaining it. And my dad had a stroke and before all of this had happened. And so he came to live with me and I was taking care of him. So I was doing all his meals, changing the bed, cleaning the house, doing his shower, like all the groceries, everything by myself.
Where's mom?
They're separated.
Okay.
And
we get personal here sometimes,
Yeah. They're separated. So, it was a lot for me to kind of take on that role, and because I was so used to being the daughter, and then I kind of had to reverse and be the parent of the parent, and
independent too.
Yeah. And juggle everything, and then kind of juggle trying to heal me. So I struggled with how do I keep going with this, because I was getting opportunities and I wanted to put it on pause. I was like, I can't juggle all of this by myself, and I know that if I don't say no, if I don't say no, it won't happen again. I'll lose the opportunities. If I do say no. If I don't say no, it's like I'm going to keep going, and then I'm going to put myself in a situation that like, what if I can't do it?
Do you see what's happening? Do you see a pattern?
What?
It's life.
Yes.
Yes. Life keeps throwing curveballs at you.
Yes.
To see how strong, what you're made out of.
Yes.
To see if this passion, this love of what you're doing really is what you really want to do.
Yes. And I had, so another personal thing, I get premonitions and visits. I get it from my mom.
Give me chills.
Yeah. I
felt that one. I felt it.
You're about to get more.
Oof. Okay.
Because I'm going deep.
All right, let's go.
So I didn't identify a lot of it at the time because I was like, am I crazy? But there was things that would happen that I'm like, okay, you need to understand.
We are crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm getting a message. You need to understand what that is, So
or a lesson.
Yeah. A lot of dreams are like that. So my mom calls me one day and I was going through I have this injury. I don't think I can keep going. And she calls me and she goes, I'm sorry about your friend Anthony passed away. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a friend Anthony. She said, no. I said, I don't know. I had an Anthony in high school, maybe him, but I don't know. Maybe I'll find out about it. So I go to bed. And I had a dream with Anthony Bourdain. And we were in a dark well, and he had on a white shirt, and the white shirt was unbuttoned down to his chest, and he had a candle, and the candle was the only light in the well. It was super dark. And he was trailing, his voice was like a ghost, and he was talking to me about his traveling and about his cooking. And I was like, telling him about my injury, and I was like, I love cooking and I can't keep going, my injury. It's like, what do I do? It's my therapy. And he was just like, you have to reach for the stars. You have to keep going, you know? So that's the whole reason why I kept going. And I kept like, so then I woke up, right? And I turned on the news that morning to go to work, and they had announced that Anthony Bourdain had passed away 2 days before. In France, he committed suicide. So it hadn't even been announced yet when I had the dream. But when I saw that, I was like, that explains the well, the darkness, the candle, the white shirt, the trailing of the voice. Like, he had passed away, and I wasn't a dream. It was a visit. But I was wondering what the connection was.
Right. I'm trying to connect.
Like, I've never met him. Like, and so I've gone through my journey of trying to figure out the connection, but I've also tried to go through my journey figuring out my injury. And in my injury, which is like a spinal nerve injury, a lot of the medical system looks at medication and surgeries as the healing of things, or physical therapy, or injections. And there's a lot of things like chiropractic, breath work, healing of natural things that they don't look at as medically healing for you. And so, like, insurance companies don't authorize it. You know, you have to pay out of pocket for things like that. And I knew that some kind of breath work might help me. I felt like my body, I was understanding my body. And I felt like I was going into fight or flight mode with stresses, with the injury. And I needed to find that balance in my body through breath work. So I thought Tai Chi. You couldn't really find people who study.
My mom is a big Tai Chi person.
Yeah?
She's amazing. She thinks she's like unbreakable now, but she Tai Chi every day, like straight up.
I have a tattoo that says unbreakable.
Okay.
So you should tell her that I'm going to
She's going to be watching this.
I'm going to be her new best friend. Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's funny you talk about health. And you talk about nerves and all that. So I wear this patch. It's a super patch. There's a bunch of different ones. This one's a boost. There's a focus one. This one's for pain. So, our skin is the biggest organ. And there's no drugs on this. This is just a patch with a design on it. It's a
lidocaine?
There's nothing on it.
Oh.
This is a design. It's kind of like Braille. So what happens is that, again, I'm not a doctor or anything. My friends invented this, and they're very successful human beings. But this coding, let's call it a code. This code right here takes away the pain, which is, again, if you solve the problem, then the drug industry and the doctors, there's no doctors and there's no drug industry.
Right.
There's no money in the solution or in the cure. There's money in the maintenance, right? Again, we won't go down that rabbit hole, but when we talk about those things, when you talk about autoimmune, there's one that I'll get for you. I'll send you the link as well. It's called Defend, and actually it's for your immune system. Oh, so it's a pretty. I'll let you read on it. I'll send you the video on it. Got to give shout out to my boys at Super Patch, but since we're talking about it now,
shout out.
But you're right. We have to take care of our bodies. And steer away. Doesn't mean that medications aren't good for you. Every once in a while, a Tylenol or an Advil or ibuprofen for inflammation works. But when you become dependent on the heavier, stronger drugs, then that's where it can potentially become a bigger problem.
Right.
But our bodies and the things around us we're designed to fight through these kind of things. Or somehow communicate with our bodies to
Yeah.
But you got to eat well. You got to work out. You got to stay active. You got to, do things that keep you engaged so that you can, when something does come up, you're able to fight it. So naturally. So
yeah.
I
Recently I've been going through a health journey, and I lost 100 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's
good for you.
Thank you. And I'm still in pain.
Okay.
But it's real, So I was going through trying to find this connection, and
what kind of pain, if you don't mind me asking?
It's almost like you're sitting in an electrocution chair. You have the discs in your nerves, in your spine, and the disc presses on the nerves, and the nerve just goes straight down into different parts of my arms and fingers and just,
Yeah.
it's like it shocks me all the time. And
That's crazy. I'm not laughing because I'm going to share my story with you.
yeah.
So I have TMJ. I grind my teeth. So, and I've done it before where they put Botox in your jaw to release the muscles. So probably about a month and 4 or 5, let's just say 6 weeks, a month and a half ago, I went to go do it again, and they put it goes by units, so they put 20 units on each side, and when they came to the right side, I saw the needle. I was like, hey, those are kind of big needles there. I was used to like the little needle, right? And she looked at me. She said, "No, this is the needle that goes into. It has to go into the muscle." I was like, "All right, well, fuck."
Right.
So when she put it in, I think I tightened up, and I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Oh,
I felt that one. I was like, "Oh," and I could feel this like just a sting, right? So she's like, "Shh!" I can even feel the shit going in me, right?
I can feel it now.
So I don't realize, nothing happens right away, but I'm like, okay, because it takes a couple of days.
Yeah.
So the next morning I'm at the gym, and I grab the dumbbells, and I'm about to do some hammer curls, and I grab the weights, light weights, and I go,
oh,
I was like this, like I was one wasn't even going up, it wasn't activated.
yeah.
So I freak out. So I'm like, what? And so my coach is like, are you having a stroke? And I'm like, no, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, I don't have any strength in my arm. Like, what? Like, what happened? And I don't feel anything. So I call the nurse. I call the doctors. I'm like, I'm blowing up. I go home and I can't even brush my teeth, yet even go to the restroom. So I'm like, what? I'm panicking now because I'm thinking like, how can the most littlest things you don't pay attention to now, like brushing my teeth, fixing my hair, was like, I was like I couldn't move. So I get a hold of the doctors, and the doctors they come in and they're like, well, it's not a pinched nerve, and then they explain to me the whole head part. Then I go to a back. I immediately go to a back doctor. They take X-rays on my back, and clearly I have a pinched nerve on my neck area. Oh. So what happened is that when they relaxed my muscle, they over relaxed it, which is okay. They didn't do nothing wrong. It's just they put a little too much Botox. So it relaxed it, and that the other muscles that are here tensed up and choked my nerve. So my whole then in the next couple of days, it started getting worse. Oh. So I couldn't even I was like walking around. I felt like a limp,
Yeah.
So talk about a scare, right? I'm right-handed. I start to really appreciate what I have. And then I start getting in my head. I start like, oh man, this is crazy. This is the way that my life is gonna be.
Yeah. Did it get better? Obviously, a little bit.
So yeah, we're now 6 weeks. And my strength is back.
Okay.
There's certain things that I need. It's almost like retrain my because your muscle literally goes paralyzed.
Yeah.
So your other muscles start to kick in right away. Like my forearm swelled up from
tightens up.
It tightens up. So I couldn't even move
You get the they call it the claw hand. This one does it. Look. Yeah. This one. Yeah.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So then I say, I need to go to a chiropractor. So the first chiropractor cracks me. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I go to a sports medicine doctor that does like athletes. And this guy, I swear, when you talk about electricity, so I'm laying on the bench, and I've never had my neck cracked like this. I've had it done, but this one was one of those one to remember. So right, I was like, whoa. I was like, what the and I felt this release, right? All of a sudden, he does the next. And when he does this one, I kid you not, I feel like fucking Iron Man. I'm like, my arms just go like this, like this. Because I felt the electricity come out of, like literally, electricity just went like this. Powered. And I was like, oh shit, like it came out.
Whoa.
I literally, when I got up, I felt probably about 50% better. I was like, but obviously I knew that. I'm like, whoa, that was interesting. He goes, yeah, we're now we just opened up your nerves, the discs. Yes, we opened up the discs and realigned them.
Yep.
So when I understand exactly what you're talking about, back pain, I've had chronic back pain for I don't know, last 15, 20 years. Yeah. But it's just something that we got to just live with and deal with, and just find ways to live a healthier life.
Yeah.
Stretching.
You know,
so-
there's a lot of, there's like two aspects to it. There's pain that I deal with, and then there's the limitations of it. You know, there's some days that it's like, okay, it's better, I can use my arm today. And there's some days it's like, I can't lift my arm, or my arm goes out, or, you know, I'm in bad shape.
How does
know?
it affect you with your cooking?
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I need, you know, help to do the things that I can't do. I
Lifting.
manage. That's how the business ended up growing, was
Gotcha.
because I can still use this
Right.
to tell you what to do. I'm really good at that. That's what I've been doing.
Very bossy.
Yeah, I delegate.
There you go. I love that. Yes. You delegate.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, I can do that. I can tell you how to do it, and that's just kind of like how it got into growing into more opportunities. And ceviche was like, oh, what else can I sell? You know, that's cold or easy.
So are you working out of a kitchen, or do you have an actual?
So we have a truck.
All right,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
that's what I kind of thought. You have a truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we go around the Bay, and
Can you go anywhere in the Bay, or are you just right now in San Francisco County?
we do San Francisco County, Alameda County, and some places around like Tracy, Modesto.
You gotta bring it down to the South Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, aside from delivering personal delivery
Yes.
here.
Let me know what festivals. We did the
Yes.
Santa Clara County Fair a few times.
Okay.
And I'm not sure of too many out here, so let
Okay.
me know.
Yeah. No, definitely we will.
Yeah. But so
I think there's maybe a handful of Peruvian restaurants. A good friend of mine opened one up in Santana Row called Suspiro.
oh, nice.
That's Peruvian infusion food. So, but it's a little too bougie, and I love it.
Yeah.
But I love like the chunky. I want to
the
when we eat.
Yeah, the street.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to bring to the city, was something like that you find in Peru, And so we bounce around. We started having some of our stuff in stores, markets, like the empanadas and our sauces
Nice.
and stuff like that.
The chicken empanadas are one of my favorites.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I brought lomo and ceviche today, but I'll have to bring empanadas next time. But, I've been going through this injury and building this in the meantime, and trying to just kind of get it there so I could have someone else help me and me step back a little bit. And, in the process of me building it from a booth to a truck, I actually came across somebody who did breath work professionally. And he had a chaga booth. Shout out to Gavin with Chaga Co. And so it was a funny connection because I told him recently, last couple weeks, I was like, please let me do a breathwork class with me. I want to promote breathwork. And
I do the Wim Hof breathing.
yeah,
I love that.
I have to look that up.
I do when I go into the cold plunge. So I do a cold plunge, and 3 minutes of it, 40-degree water, and you got to breathe.
I've seen that.
Deep breathing into your stomach, and then just let it, hold it, and then let it out.
Oh, you're fierce.
Yeah,
Oh.
I have to be.
Ooh, I know that was hard.
I walk out and I'm frozen. But
You're woke though.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Super woke, and I got it now to the point where I go to my neckline now, hands in the water, and when you go all in, and then before I get out, I dip in, get my whole head, and then boom, I get out, and I'm like, I'm woke.
That's life, right?
That's
all in, stay woke.
Yeah, that's right.
So I finally do this breathwork class, and so it was amazing. Like, I felt like, why didn't I run into you before? I can't believe I've been looking for somebody like you this whole time, and like, you exist.
Yeah.
And it helped like I thought it would. It didn't solve it, because at this point I have injury, like real injury for years. But so I'm sitting there after this class, and I'm looking at his shelf, and he's got an Anthony Bourdain book. It says Anthony Bourdain. And I'm like, oh my God. And I told him about, the experience, and he goes, oh, we were friends. And I go, what? He's like, yeah, I used to be his driver. And I'm like, he starts showing me pictures of him and Anthony Bourdain. And I'm like, oh my God, I was supposed to run into you. Like, this was he knew when he came to tell me this, that I was going to meet you at this moment, and you were going to help me at that time. Like, it was all supposed to be connected. And I was like, this is the moment, like, this is where I'm supposed to be in my life right now.
Amen.
You know, sometimes you wonder, business is such a gamble. Ooh. You know, you never know. And I hate gambling.
Yeah.
And I go in there like, am I losing my mind? I'm still going back.
Yeah.
You know, and what am I doing?
Yeah. I relate. I ask myself the same thing every day.
Like, am I just toxic? I should have broke up with you a long time ago, maybe. So, you know, and it was just like, no, reach for the stars, right?
That's right.
So,
that's powerful right there.
Yeah.
You said that twice already.
Yeah.
So that message
stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck. So when I write my book, you know, it's going to be an experience for sure. I
got someone I have a person that helped me write my last 2 books. She's an amazing human being. And I think I would love to connect you.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, I would love that.
Kristen Andrus is an amazing. She worked with Stedman Graham is Oprah's other half.
Oh.
She worked with him for 18 years. Amazing human being. Traveled around the world and understands.
Yeah.
You know, the culture, understands food, understands life, understands journey. So definitely want to do that.
Yeah.
So
thank you. I would love that. I think, you know, it's important for me to use my opportunities and my paths and doorways to help and inspire others. You know, it has been a harder journey, me building this food business as a mobile food owner than it had to be. You know, and I see other people when I went into it struggling just like them, and they go into it every day with a smile on their face. And I'm like, God bless you. You know, do you ever get a break? And here I'm like, I want to open doors for them, and I want to open doors for people who are about to come into that so they don't have to go through that either, you know? Like, it shouldn't have to be. Small businesses have struggled through COVID and still had to keep afloat, where so many other corporations have had to close. And we are the foundation of this community, of any community. So you have to be able to help build that foundation for others to succeed in order for the community to grow. It's going to flounder like it did, you know.
And so people got to come together.
Yeah, especially San Francisco is building back up again. You know, it's important for the city. I have a small business ball that I host. My business was robbed 3 times last year.
Wow.
I hit a lot of struggles, and I thought I was going to go out of business completely and lose everything. So for me to still be here, I wasn't able to have the business ball last year, but it's a networking event like the black and white ball used to be for San Francisco. And business owners come in a gala style.
You got to talk. I got to introduce you. Do you know Anthony Presents?
No.
Anthony Presents is the biggest foodie in San Francisco. Like he does all the big food festivals and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, San Francisco. He just did the one. It's called Everybody or
Everyone Eats Festival.
Yeah,
I heard of that. So great.
That's my boy. He's going to be on the show.
Is he an actor?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, he could be an actor. I'm going to call him out. He still hasn't been on my show yet. I've been asking him. So, but no, the last time I saw him, so definitely I'll make that other connection too.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's about networking.
It is, yeah.
And it's about, you know, bringing good people with other good people, and then everyone creating magic and doing some great things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to touch base really quick. When you compare brick and mortar to mobile, big difference. And brick and mortar just has its ups and downs too, just like the mobile. Only difference is you can go mobile and go find other spots, right? But it's like you're hunting for business.
Right.
Here you're stuck and you're hoping that people come to you. So when you have a brick and mortar, in my opinion, I think that service and quality have to be impeccable. That way people keep coming back, and word of mouth. You can do all the marketing, but if your food doesn't taste right and your service is horrible, people ain't coming back. I think it's the same thing with mobile. What do you've lived both lives?
Yeah. This is a good question I get asked a lot. And because I've been through both, I think building a business from the ground up versus getting the business with everything is also a big factor. And so for me, going through all of this experience, I would have said that starting any business is a planning no matter what. So if you're going to, you know, plan to open a business, it's like you should have something already set. But I think a good foundation to have would be a brick and mortar better than having a truck.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that was because with a truck, you have to still have a commercial kitchen attached to that you still have to pay rent for. Yeah. It is not your kitchen. You share it. Commissary
kitchens, yeah.
Yes, I can tell you the horrible experiences, the goods and bads of sharing a commercial kitchen with someone, that you will still have to pay rent. And then you also have the truck, which is a truck, and the machines. And who are you going to find to service all of those things? Each thing needs its own person. You don't have one fairy godmother for the whole truck. It has a lot of costs.
That's a business to think of.
Right. On top of paying a commercial kitchen, you're also paying permits and vendor fees every time that you sell on the truck.
Yeah.
So, and that's a gamble. You can have a taco truck and show up and there's 4 other taco trucks sharing your sales.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you and you still pay full price. Yeah. It's a dog-eat-dog world having a truck.
I like it. It's competitive.
It's nice, but
that means your taco better, your food better be off the charts.
Yeah, but
and you have to have a good reputation too.
But when you're a food vendor, you have to succumb to so many other people's terms, and you can't provide your own. You can't say, look, if I have some surprises, you got to guarantee me something. I don't have a guarantee. When you have a place, you can kind of more negotiate more of a guarantee with a contract, but you also have more of a guarantee with how you can run your space, how you can market your space. You know that there's not going to be any other competition coming in your space or 4 other taco trucks coming there, but you do know that there's changes around. So the city may make changes. There may be bike lanes. There may be things in the future that may affect you. So but you can
You've
go.
You've definitely been through some experience.
Yeah, but you can go out if you have a truck
Yeah.
and use your kitchen and come back. And if the truck breaks down, you still have your kitchen.
Right.
I can't sell out of my kitchen. So I have to go out to sell. So I would say, having a brick and mortar and then having a truck is probably the best.
What's your long-term goal?
I would like to have a place.
Okay.
I want a place, a good home for people to come and eat and socialize.
Would it be a Yo Soy Ceviche or would it be another brand?
It would be a Yosoy Ceviche.
Okay.
I am working on something else. We did open up a Peruvian barbecue as an extension.
Got it.
For our truck, but I'm also working on a separate concept coming out.
Okay.
Probably.
I got some good friends. Do you know, have you ever heard of Armando Tan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's my boy. So
Tito.
Go, yeah.
we did Comidazo.
Comidazo. There you go.
Yes.
All
we
right.
we did Comidazo.
Hey, come on, tell me the truth, and I'm gonna tell him, hey, you gotta watch this episode.
Hi, Tito.
Hey, when you see him talking Spanish, though, like you get confused, right? Like
no, Tito's the ish. Tito's the ish. I love Tito no matter what. He's so great.
You call him Tito, and I call him Armando.
Bendiciones. I love
Every time I see him, I think I'm like, wait, because I get confused. She's so Chinese looking.
Yeah.
and then he talks Spanish. I'm like, bro, like that, like stop. Like,
but Peru has a lot of Asian fusion.
Yes.
So you go there and you see a lot of people.
Yeah,
from
but he's
Japan.
Nicaragüense.
He's
Nicaragüense. I'm like Nicaragüense Chino. I'm like, come on, bro. Anyway, I love that. That's my boy. I've been trying to get him on the show too.
He goes hard.
I got to stop asking these people. Like, you either get on or you don't.
He missed the ceviche.
Yeah, did he? Yeah, he did. So, let me ask you. Obviously, you got this entrepreneurial spirit. You obviously shared. You want to, from truck to brick and mortar. Now, you've been through some tough times. Mm-hmm. I'm sure business wise and obviously, physically, personally, for the people that are watching out there, the women that are watching out there, you're an inspiration to women. You're an inspiration to me as an entrepreneur.
Thank you, honey. You too.
Trust me. We all deal with different versions of problems in business. Some people deal with small problems. Some people deal with bigger ones, but they're all problems.
Yeah.
And the next one is already on its way.
Yep.
No matter what, it's already on its way. So what would be some words of wisdom that you would share with the people out there to keep them going? Because obviously something keeps telling you to keep going.
Yeah.
And maybe it was the message, the lesson, whatever it was that came to you looking to the stars.
Yeah. I going through so many things. I have had to say when I'm at my biggest breaking point, the thing that keeps me going is always telling myself, get through this first. You have to focus and get through it, because if you break, everything else is going to crumble under you. It's like a house, and an earthquake's happening. You got to hold on And then when it's over, then I have my breaking point. I cry, I scream, I go, what the hell was that? Like for months, whatever it takes me to heal, but I have to focus and get through it first. Because if you break at that point, there's no coming back from it. You can break later. Everybody can, have their moments, but things have to stay afloat too. And you have things that rely on you. So you have to focus on keeping that foundation first, because that if you let it break, when you come back to it, you're going to be broken and you're going to have to start all over from the ground up, and you work too hard for that. So don't let yourself break until after,
Break in private.
Yeah, let it go.
There's a book, Don't Sweat the Small Things. Yeah. So people want to get a hold of you. How do they get a hold of you? I know you're on Instagram. You want to share that handle with us?
Insta, Yo Soy Ceviche.
That's right.
Yes. And email yosoyceviche@gmail.com.
All right. Do you have a website or no?
Yes, www.yosoyceviche.com.
I was just testing you. I wanted to make sure you had all your branding dialed in. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that don't even have the basics. And right now, you gotta cover all your bases. I would throw one in there, info@yosoyceviche.com. That way you stay away from the Gmail's a great brand.
Yeah.
But you can create those. You go to the workspace and then create,
Thank you.
Yeah, those, again, it's all about branding. You want to be that, I always tell people, you want to be that Ferrari. And by the way, that red is.
Thank you.
That's Ferrari red right there, baby. You got to treat your brand like a Ferrari. Perfection from A to Z. Don't skip a beat, and always pay attention to the details.
And I'm always willing, side note, I'm always willing to help anybody that wants to go on a path or is on a path and needs guidance or help. If you ever want to reach out or email me, I can just only give you the experience or the knowledge that I know, and maybe it can help you, So anything helps, even if it's for free. Free knowledge is, rich knowledge, right?
That's right. Something's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you up on that cooking idea one day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I have so many ideas for the studio, and I think that we could pop one of those off.
We could do a ceviche.
Totally down.
Yeah,
totally
and pisco
down.
sour. I know how to do it.
Hey, done. That's gonna be like on the weekend. That way we can have a couple of drinks. So I want to thank you for for coming out today. I really do appreciate your time, your energy.
Appreciate you.
And just like thank you. Just like I just said, the next problem is already on its way. Everything happened for a reason. You're here at the time that you got here because that's what it was meant to be. And what we do is we pivot as business owners. We have to always look at what happens, and we either look at it as a problem or as that's the reason why, and we pivot. We find solutions, right? We're problem solvers. Maneuver. And you know that as a manager, high level, right?
Yeah.
And now as a business owner, you know that your problems are it's inevitable.
You're everything.
Everything. CEO stands for Chief Everything Officer.
Yeah.
Period. So,
period.
Anyhow, I want to thank you again. Let's go. Last words to the world.
Hey, just keep eating ceviche.
I love it. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Mauricio Mejia Live. Don't forget to comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Let's go.
Like, comment, subscribe. Mauricio Mejia Live on YouTube.